While others chased the sun, blind Amara navigated by the earth's whispers, her fingers reading cracked walls like a map. She didn't just hear sounds, she felt the trembling breath of those nearby, and whenever her fingertips vibrates, it signals a conflict occurring nearby. Someone is angry, she'd murmur into the silence, long before a voice was ever raised. Someone entering the room, she'd say, and within seconds it happens. Her supernatural powers helps her see and predict a bowl breaking, and within seconds, it will happen. This keeps her in the knowing. Amara was the village's quiet miracle. She could read the clouds and tell when the river would swell, she could soothe a crying child with a single hum, yet she's blind. Her touch was equally unsettling. Beneath her palms, pain dissolved and secret surfaced, she felt sorrow beneath skin, and heard fears in a heartbeat. To the village, she was gifted. But in a house fueled by bitterness, her knowing stirred more than wonder, it awakened a patient, creeping darkness in the shadows. And that's just the beginning. Because what I'm about to show you next will completely change how we think about people who are blind.
The wall speaks.
Inside the house, Amara's gift was met with a cruelty that didn't soften. To her mother, Momodoka, she was useless. To her sister, Dosika, her very existence was an offense. When Amara tapped an empty pot, her soft plea for food was met with a sharp click of the tongue and cold mockery. Do you want to be fed like a baby forever? Dosika hissed. The rejection was a familiar verdict, but this time, something shifted. Amara didn't break. Instead, she turned her useless hands toward defiance, endlessly practicing chores, sorting grains, and weaving mats by touch alone. Each small success was a silent vow. She would not live on pity. With the same hands they dismissed, she would carve out a power they could neither ignore nor understand. Sometimes the greatest gift is when we push ourselves to be that we dream to be, regardless of people's opinions. Come with me, let's see what her dreams are made of.
Hello guys, haven't subscribed yet? Please subscribe now, hit the like button, and leave a comment to help.
Amara entered the world on a storm-lashed night, thunder cracking like angry spirits and rain pounding the earth, yet her arrival brought only a suffocating silence to Momodoka's crumbling mud house. When it became clear the child could not see, her tiny eyes open, but unresponsive to light or movement. Momodoka's face hardened instantly. A child that cannot see is a burden, she said coldly, turning away as the baby's cries filled the darkness she would never behold. Nearby, young Dosika watched with a chilling stillness far beyond her years, already absorbing her mother's bitterness and quietly deciding that Amara was not a sister, but a curse. As time passed, the house grew heavier with harsh words and neglect, where love was scarce and cruelty spoke louder than care, yet within that endless darkness, Amara nurtured something unseen and unbreakable, a silent, growing resilience that refused to die, no matter how deeply rejection tried to bury it. It began with a frail old woman whose body had long been a prison of unending pain, her quiet groans drifting through the village like a sorrow no one could ease. That afternoon, as Amara sat in stillness, she felt it before she fully heard it, the disturbance in the air, the trembling rhythm of suffering carried on each labored breath. Drawn by something deeper than instinct, she rose and moved toward the woman. Please, just let me try, Amara said softly, her voice calm yet strangely certain. The woman hesitated, doubt flickering across her face. What could a blind girl possibly see that others could not? But there was something in Amara's presence, something unsettling, almost sacred. Slowly, the woman yielded. The moment Amara's hands touched her shoulders, a subtle shift occurred, as if the air itself stilled to watch. Her fingers moved with deliberate grace, tracing unseen paths along the woman's body, pressing into places no eye could have found, guided by a hidden sight that perceived pain like glowing threads beneath the skin. Amara's breathing deepened, her head tilting slightly as though listening to voices no one else could hear, her palms growing warm, then warmer, until a quiet energy seemed to pulse through them. At first, the woman tensed, then suddenly exhaled, a long, trembling release as the tightness in her body began to melt away. The pain that had clung to her for years loosened its grip, dissolving beneath Amara's touch. "Child, what are you doing to me?" she whispered in awe, her voice no longer heavy with suffering but laced with wonder and a hint of fear. Amara did not answer immediately, her faint smile held a mystery of its own, as though she, too, was discovering the depth of what flowed through her. When her hands finally stilled, the silence that followed felt different, charged, alive. The woman slowly stood, her eyes wide as she realized the ache was gone. Completely gone. By evening, whispers had begun to crawl through the village like wildfire. The blind girl did not merely touch, she saw, she felt, she healed. Some spoke of a divine gift, others of something unknown and dangerous. But one truth settled into every curious heart: for the first time, people no longer looked at Amara with pity, they came to her with hope, and with a quiet, growing fear of the power hidden within her. At first, only a few villagers sought her help, offering small coins or food in exchange. Amara treated each person with care and dedication, never rushing, never careless. She counted her earnings by touch, tying coins carefully in a cloth she kept hidden. As days turned into weeks, her reputation grew stronger. Farmers with aching backs, traders exhausted from long journeys, even young mothers burdened by stress, all came seeking her healing touch. She worked tirelessly, often performing 3 to 5 massages a day in those early days. Her hands became her eyes, her tools, her voice. And with every session, her confidence grew. She was no longer just the blind girl abandoned by her family, she was becoming something more. The great wrestler in the village praised Amara for her gifted skills while snubbing Gossika, telling her, "Your sister sees more with her eyes closed than you do with yours wide open." Gossika's face twisted. Momodoka still dismissed her efforts, and Gossika watched with a growing bitterness that quietly began to twist into something darker after hearing what the wrestler said. Gossika could not understand how Amara, whom she had always considered weak and useless, was now earning respect and money. Every coin Amara saved felt like an insult to her pride. She began to spy on her sister, listening from corners, watching how villagers approached her with gratitude. The more she saw, the more her jealousy burned. "She is pretending," Gossika told herself. "It is luck, nothing more." But deep down, she knew it was not luck. It was something she could not replicate, something pure and powerful. That realization frightened her. Slowly, her envy turned into resentment, and resentment into quiet hatred. She began to plan, her mind clouded by bitterness. If Amara continued like this, she would rise above them all, and Nausicaa could not allow that. Despite her success, Amara held on to a dream she never spoke of openly, the dream of seeing. Every coin she saved had a purpose beyond survival. She had heard whispers of a healer, Papa Ibuka, a man said to possess knowledge beyond ordinary medicine. They said he could restore what was lost, heal what was broken. To many, it sounded like myth. But to Amara, it was hope. She counted her savings every night, her fingers trembling slightly as she imagined a world filled with light. Colors she had never seen, faces she had only imagined through touch, the dream was both beautiful and painful. Still, she held on to it tightly. Because for someone who had never seen the world, hope was the only light she knew. One night, while Amara slept, exhausted from a long day of work, Nausicaa crept silently into her corner of the room. Her eyes glinted in the dim light as she searched carefully until her fingers found the cloth bundle. She untied it slowly, revealing the coins Amara had worked so hard to gather. For a moment, she hesitated, but greed quickly overpowered any trace of guilt. By morning, the money was gone. Amara discovered the loss with trembling hands, her heart sinking into a void deeper than darkness. She said nothing at first, but tears slipped silently down her cheeks. She knew. Without seeing, she knew. But she chose silence, not out of weakness, but because her spirit refused to be broken by betrayal. Nausicaa's envy curdled into something lethal. Under the guise of finding new clients, she led Amara to the village outskirts, pointing ahead. "Look, Amara, the Okonko's house, the view is stunning." Amara smiled, then heard crumbling stones and the air turned silent. She turned, but Nausicaa pushed. Amara fell into an abandoned well. Darkness swallowed her whole. Fate, however, was not finished. Her hand grasped a root, slipped. Nausicaa watched, silent. Amara hung, bruised, screaming into darkness. Back at the house, a chilling silence took root. "Where is Amara?" Mamodoka asked. Nausicaa merely shrugged. Maybe she finally left. Mamodoka waved the concern away with a cold "good," but Nausicaa could not escape so easily. That night, the dreams began, the well, the darkness, and a cold sweat that refused to dry. She had traded her sister for a peace she would never find, while miles away, Amara remained suspended between the earth and the end. It was Papa Ibuka who heard her. Passing nearby, he caught the faint cries and rushed toward the well. With careful effort, he pulled Amara to safety. As she lay trembling, he placed a hand gently on her head, his presence calm and powerful. "Child," he said softly, "your suffering has not gone unseen." He listened as Amara told her story, not with anger, but with quiet strength. Papa Ibuka saw something rare in her spirit. He decided, in that moment, that her life was about to change forever. He agreed to help restore her sight, through a sacred ritual requiring her own earned herbs and the strength she had built through self-reliance.
Hello guys, haven't subscribed yet? Please subscribe now, hit the like button, and leave a comment to help.
Under Papa Ibuka's care, Amara endured a grueling healing process. Rituals and herbs tested her spirit. Papa Ibuka chanted, mixing herbs with oils, applying pressure points. Glowing embers neared her closed eyes. Heat built, a brilliant flash pierced the darkness behind her lids. Silence? The silence covered everywhere, but truly something extraordinary has happened. "Come with me, let's find out." Amara stared at her hands mystically. "Papa," she whispered finally. "I see." Papa Ibuka's face blurred into focus, wrinkles, concern, relief. Amara's tears fell. Vibrant greens, warm browns, the world. It was joyous indeed that Amara regained her sight. In the village, after Amara's disappearance, Mamodoka made up a story. Amara simply left. But while the mother complained about the loss of a convenience, the sister, Nausicaa, began to unravel. Relief turned to a racing heart and nightmares of snakes and grasping hands. Amara's voice, Nausicaa, haunted her sleep, leaving her shaking and sweat-soaked. The shoes Nausicaa bought with Amara's stolen money now hurt her feet, and the clothes felt heavy, like a shroud. As the house fell into disarray without its silent laborer, a darker irony set in. They had discarded the girl, but they couldn't escape the weight of her absence. Years passed. Amara grew into a woman of steady grace and quiet power, her history a door she chose to keep sealed. But one day, that door creaked open. Mamodoka appeared at the hut, desperately supporting a frail, broken Nausicaa. The moment their voices drifted in, Amara's hand stilled. "Amara?" Mamodoka gasped, her voice trembling at the sight of her daughter's clear eyes. The silence thickened as the truth struck like thunder. Under Amara's unwavering gaze, Nausicaa collapsed, sobbing out a confession of the jealousy, the stolen money, and the well she had pushed Amara into. "I failed you," Mamodoka wept, while Nausicaa crawled forward, shattered by a guilt that had rotted her from the inside out. Amara watched them, not with bitterness, but with a calm strength that silenced the room. "I forgive you," she said gently. "Not because what you did was right, but because I refuse to carry your darkness." Turning to her mentor, she reached for her tools. "Let me treat her." With the same hands they once dismissed as useless, Amara began to heal the sister who had tried to kill her, their only hope now resting in the mercy of the girl they had cast aside. In the years that followed, Amara's healing center blossomed beneath the wide embrace of the mango tree, welcoming people from distant places who came not only for healing but for the quiet wisdom of a woman who had once seen the world without sight. Day after day, she worked tirelessly, her hands moving with purpose alongside her now transformed sister and mother, the rhythm a living symbol of redemption and unity forged through pain, betrayal, and survival. But on one solemn afternoon, as the golden light filtered through the leaves, a new child, fragile, silent, and burdened by unseen wounds, was brought before her. The air grew still. Amara paused, then slowly lifted her gaze. Her eyes, now clear and whole, locked onto the child, not with mere vision, but with something deeper. Something unchanged. And in that quiet, powerful moment, it became undeniable, her greatest gift had never been her sight, but the knowing that had always lived within her. Wow, what a journey! Amara went from being called useless and blind to becoming the healer everyone needed. She was pushed into a well, betrayed by her own family, yet she still chose forgiveness and healing over revenge. So let me ask you, what would you have done if someone who hurt you so badly later needed your help? Would you forgive them like Amara did, or would you walk away? Drop your honest answer in the comments below. But also remember that your greatest pain can become your greatest power. Never let anyone convince you that your weakness is permanent. What people call a limitation today might be the very gift that lifts you tomorrow. No matter how dark your situation looks right now, keep using what you have, your hands, your heart, your faith. Because sometimes the light you need isn't outside, it's already living inside you. If this story touched you, please like the video, share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next inspiring story.
Hello guys, I hope you enjoyed our stories. Please hit the like button, leave a comment below and subscribe to our channel.